Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I'm Andrew Lairdinho. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined today by Keith Jamison, GatorGuy231, to talk about the cost. I titled it The Cost, but Keith, there are costs. There are multiple costs to waiting.
It's true.
You know who didn't have to wait? Everybody here, because we started on time. Thanks everyone for coming in. DNP Donkey said Donkey wants first, and Donkey got first. So there you go. Brendan here and ready to go. And Rascal Masaki.
I love the third person. Donkey wants it. Okay,
Hell
Donkey.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Go for it.
So congratulations to you guys beating out Mr. Podium himself, Bob Franklin. So congrats. Ben Johnson talking about some Norwich players, Celtic. Who cares? Anyway, Rainmakers. A lot of people talking about Rainmakers today. We won't. That was it. That was the Rainmakers conversation right there. Toby, what's up? Boston Sean checking in from vacation. Love to see it. No Name Informer. I'm buzzing like flies and waiting around for new cards because I'll buy them in March. That's fun. We'll get to that. Remind me about the announcement today, Keith, because I got something to say on that. Scosmo, can you confirm your jury duty service has drafted you as a specialist on the Rainmakers case? Oh, that was the case I was put on, and they were like, you seem a little biased, and so I got thrown off.
They dropped.
Right. They saw me coming, and they were like, never mind.
We'll settle. We don't care. We'll close it down. Shut
down. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Just kidding. No, my jury duty service was canceled, and so I'm the end of the message, Keith. So I had to call in.
Yeah.
Sorry for getting off topic immediately. I had to call in to find out if I had to go today, and they canceled today and the rest of the week.
Yep.
No crime here, apparently. None.
No comment. No.
knock on wood before somebody robs me.
No decision to prosecute.
Yeah. Oh, that could. Yeah. All right. Never mind. Ben Johnson. That's right. It is turkey season. Anybody who was watching the game week preview yesterday surely prepared. I have him captained somewhere. Ryan Walter. Sadly, I have a meeting, so I'll catch up on the rewatch. But the show is better than jury duty, which I agree. Simo in the house. What's up, Malky? That's right, Vice 91. No jury duty today. Manito, good to see you. Jack says, let's go. Just won 3 tickets in my Rivals box for 3 wins in a row. God bless people who can get excited about winning 3 tickets. There was a time Keith was that guy, though.
Yeah, when we were running short. Now they're just out there as much as you want, really.
How many are you sitting on these days?
I mean, I actually am playing a lot of Rivals too, and I just continue to increase. I think I have like 70 now, but I got as low as 40. But you get a lot of now. They have those extra boxes, which is really actually a cool little thing. So if you're just ticket hunting, just go try to complete a mission. So
ticket hunting, oof, man. I played 8 Rivals matches on Sunday.
Ooh, look at you.
And I have 167 tickets left. Anyway, Bazzer, what's up? Jesp or Yesp. I'm going with Yesp. Alex F. Just Micah, what's up? I think that's Ahmed is how I would say that. Liam, what's up? Mike Basson, out to training soon, but I'll catch this when I get back. Why is everybody? I mean, I like that people say hi, but then they just leave, Keith.
Yeah, it's cool.
Actually, for those of you who do that, do you leave it running?
And do you at least like it before you?
Surely like the video. My goodness gracious. If you don't like on arrival, at least like on early departure.
Finish this, and I got like 2 little off-topic things before we get on topic.
Perfect. Mindioso, what's up? Dream Oblivion. Charlie, do you guys in the States know what I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but I read that as earn brew. This is apparently some Scottish drink that they put on a bottle of essence to make a joke, and a lot of people didn't get it.
Oh.
What's up?
I saw
You apparently didn't get it either.
I have no idea.
Peter in the house. Tiago Costa, which sounds a lot like or could be like Diego Costa. Tiago. Anyway, longtime viewer, first time chatter. What's up? Pulled Rodri from going first in Division 1 on Rivals.
What?
PSU fan in my league. Iron Brew. Isn't that what? No, I didn't say that. I bet it doesn't even sound like Iron Brew when somebody from Scotland says it. Ryan Dino, if Rainmakers are stopping, does that mean Sorare NFL is incoming? I hope not.
Yeah.
Not that I...
Just lay low.
Yeah, don't do it. Parabolica?
Okay.
Parabolica? Anyway. some sort of parabola there, but I can't get it out. First time live. Thank you for coming in there. ZM Stars, we are not back when ticket hunting and getting jacked about 3 tickets and Rivals gets the chat going.
He said he wasn't excited. He fixed it. He said it was sarcasm.
Oh, okay. Well, congrats anyway. So are PGA more likely they went for the rights and had them for a minute? That is true. They did have them for a quick minute. I think.
Wasn't that just like a leaked newspaper article?
Yeah. Love this from Hussein. Just got my salary. Ready to spend some money tomorrow on champ cards.
Congrats.
We'll get into the champ cards. Braden, what's up?
Set aside retirement first, buddy.
That's automatically taken out somewhere. Anyway,
there we go.
Let me just do the quick thing about
Go for it.
So everybody loves getting information ahead of time, like a game week calendar or the list of special weeklies that are going to happen in August. Because you're like, okay, I have this now. Now I know that I can go spend money to make me better in these special weeklies. So you go spend that money, and then they're like, wait a minute, we got another one that's going to require some money too. And why wait on the French one that is $50,000 in prizes? And that's all I have to say about that.
What version of Scosmo would you call that it brought out?
It depends like where he was before, but I think that was closer to Rage than it was
The Rage
else.
Scosmo?
Yeah.
If nobody remembers, there's different versions of Scosmo, and there was a special one this morning when that came out.
I just remembered the topic for Friday.
Write it down. So
Writing it
while
down.
he's doing this,
play off. So rare. Hold on. You talk now because I got to write this down.
No, you're fine. So Laird this morning when I was like, so what are we talking about today? He's like, I had a topic for Friday, but I forgot. And he just remembered.
True story.
Writing it down.
But here it is. I got it now. it now.
So now that you're writing that, I'm going to re-screw with your pronunciation. There was a word I could not say today. I had a video shoot before this. I'm going to butcher it. I can't say this word. Rural. Say it.
Rural? It's just a weird word.
That sounded good. It sounded pretty good.
Rural.
Can't.
Yeah, rural.
I want to stop speaking it halfway through, and it's a very short word, so to stop speaking.
So did you end up saying the word, or did you just figure
No,
out
I said country.
Say something?
I said country.
Yeah.
I just my videographer was just cracking up. I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't. And then the other thing is jury duty. So mine was 7 years ago. I had federal, which did not get canceled. They did the phone. Are we really in jury duty not have a website? My wife just had it. She had to call. Is it the only thing that is on the web anymore? They're like, no, still toll-free number.
Toll-free.
1-800.
I had to call yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Check it
it's
online.
wild.
Yeah.
Why is it not online? Why is it a phone call? Why is it not a text message, an auto text back? Yes, come in.
Yeah, and it's not like it's information that, if it got out, is
right. It's not like here's the case that you were going to be on. It's literally a binary answer. Yes or no.
I take that back. I bet there are some cases where they want to know who the jury is. And if you know everybody who has jury duty that day, anything that's online, I just assume gets out at some point. The number of letters I've gotten that my social security number has been compromised is just astonishing.
All right. Back on topic.
Back on topic. Lairdinho, you mean Sorare isn't paying for retirement funds? No, they are not.
It definitely will not be said on this stream because that could be constitute an investment.
Just a game.
Just a game.
Sean's point about buying French cards is over. They are boosting those trash cards now. This was yesterday. Sean was saying that Ligue 1 cards are not that good because you can only play them in Champ. And now there's a special weekly.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. How about this? The rural juror.
Such a hard word. You even pronounced it differently there than you did a minute ago.
Oh, did I?
Yes,
I'm thinking about it now. If you were just oh yeah, it happens out in the rural. Yeah, I can't do it now. I can't do it. Shaforka, what's up? Oh, I like this. Lairdinho thinks we're too famous for jury duty. That would be nice.
That's hilarious.
And Maddie Sorare back from the last exam of the semester. Way to be. That's right. Finally, full Sorare focus for the next few months. That's what we're all here to do. Full focus on our game pieces. Anyway, Keith, was there a specific instance
yes.
that occurred to you that made you think this whole the cost of waiting on Sorare?
Yeah, it was a specific thing that caused the idea, but then when you
That's a terrible idea. Anyway, sorry.
That'll get you noticed.
Yeah. Sponsored by Charles Schwab. Anyway.
So it was specifically the Copa. I had in my gallery already, I had Otamendi, which didn't matter because he didn't start.
Right.
But I had Messi, obviously a very, very good piece. And 2 or 3 other players. Realized that when I was having to buy a midfielder, I ended up buying a Rodrigo de Paul. The fact I did not have an Alexis McAllister already in my gallery with a Liverpool collection from this season, where I have my collection's already at like 4%, was absolutely absurd that that card did not already exist. Like, there were so many weeks playing Liverpool through the season, I was just short a midfielder. Just happened. He's probably I think he ended probably top 5 midfielders in the Prem, maybe top 10. So it made no sense. I still don't have one, actually. And it made me realize not taking care of business like when you should can be really costly. Like specifically on Alexis, I don't know if you want to pull up a score chart, but there was a time at the start of the season that he was really struggling. His price dipped quite a bit. And then he ran off like a Rodrigo type of spurt in terms of scores. Like, I think he was one of the best players in the Prem from a Sorare perspective right there. And again, just not having him already set for that run when I had a Allison, I had a Robertson, I had a Van Dijk, had Salah. And then it was just like, not only did you get penalized during the season, I had to take that. Then Copa shows up, and I'm like, oh, I really should have this already.
So I'm not going to argue that you should have had that card already, because if you're like, you had the collection going, and so it kind of makes sense.
I couldn't afford it either. It's not like I didn't have the balance. Like, it was
Sean. Anyway, I think the Liverpool one is kind of interesting because we know that there are like tons of Liverpool stacks, and it always felt like the optimal one included 2 defenders, usually Van Dijk and TAA.
Or Robertson. You could definitely.
Right. 2 of those 3.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it felt like very early on in the season, everybody was like, you want Szoboszlai. Like, that's the midfielder you want. And so a ton of people like would run that lineup with Szoboszlai. And as long as you had Szoboszlai, like, you didn't like need McAllister because you were never going to play him, because you were always going to play 2 defenders.
Well, and he was sucking too to start the season.
Right. That too.
He was playing the Fabinho number 6 type of role, and it was not a good role for him.
It's not a good role for anybody. Like, Fabinho was terrible.
That's a fair statement.
From a Sorare perspective.
That's a fair statement. Yeah.
And so I'm kind of giving you an out here that, like, I think it was understandable that you never got that card. And thinking about Copa in, like, when did he go on this run? At the end of January? Like, nobody's doing that.
But it's more of like Szoboszlai got injured in December, and he wasn't the same since. And so I actually did have a midfield hole, and I was just kind of like filling it as I go. I don't remember. I mean, the reality is I was playing my Liverpool guys in All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like All-Star Rare Pro, and it was always like, if Liverpool's in good shape, it was Allison, goalkeeper, Van Dijk, super rare, and then I had a Robertson super rare as well.
Yep.
So like that kind of already chose itself. But it was just more of then starting to think back further. It's like the amount of times that not taking care of business when it made the most sense. Like when Szoboszlai went down, should have, like, it was actually pretty obvious if you followed Liverpool and, you know, insert whatever team it is that you follow, that Endo was going to come in and McAllister would get shifted wide and be in a more attacking role where he crushed at Brighton. Like, it was predictable what happened. And again, it did not necessarily make sense for me and my gallery size and like the composition to not have that card. And I just love somehow Sorare works that they go, oh, that punishment wasn't enough. You want a little bit more? Here you go. Oh, you're going to go spend more money on another card when you should have had that already. Like, that's what made me think of the topic.
So I don't know why I feel the need to justify your
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm like trying to dig my own grave, and you're like, no.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm scooping it back out. No, I think that Liverpool, the Liverpool stack was very similar to the Ajax one a few years ago, that the best Liverpool midfielder didn't play for Liverpool.
Sure.
And so it was almost like you were buying McAllister after a bad run with no real expectation that he would absolutely crush like he did.
But I think where I'm being extra penal, and I think this is something that we all have to have introspection on, like our galleries and specifically our collections, is why did you, I'm going to like, this is answer it, but like, you know, the answer, like, why do we collect? There's probably two things, right? But what would be the two reasons that you collect?
To light money on fire and to look at JPEGs that I like.
So one of those is right. I think, you know, there's truly like a collector's aspect in one part. And the second part is XP, right? Would you say that's the two actual reasons?
Yes.
So, and specifically like the best collections, like, you know, you're in one. Mm-hmm. But, you know, your thought was, hey, I can get all these boosts on all of these guys that are playable. Like, I don't just have to worry about one team stack. I can move some guys here. I can move some guys there, all of that. So you have to think, like, when you have a collection, and I think you brought this up on a stream before, maybe it was here, maybe it was with Nep, but how many times do we see people, including ourselves, missing the most important piece of a collection or waiting forever on like the best scorer? Like, that is the complete antithesis of the point of a collection. The point of the collection is to have a really good score at high XP. So, like, you know, when I look at mine, funny enough, I hadn't made my Allison exchange yet either. So I had an old season Allison not getting boosted. I fixed that meantime. But I had Robertson away, because remember, Liverpool had the away special editions.
Oh, that's right.
So I spent extra money on some Jersey Mint special editions that we talked about on this stream. So I had like a Jota special edition Jersey Mint auction. I had like 3 or 4 of those. So you're not buying those cards because you want Curtis Jones boosted. The whole point of buying those extra cards is so that your top scorers can boost. So then when you stare at an Alexis McAllister, even if you go, hey, I should have not known that he was going to blow up, but once he had 2 or 3 straight weeks and that roll looked awesome, I probably should have gone, hey, I can have Alexis McAllister at a 4% boost here.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And again, like Sean talks about this a lot. I think like the best example of Sean talking about this is like when he made the Doku statement. If you have a big gallery, he felt at that time you should own a Doku because you can afford it and the upside versus replacement, those type of things. I had a big enough gallery. I should have owned Alexis McAllister once he was going off. And I had Salah, like, I don't think I had TAA yet, but like I had all the other big pieces. That's where I go more of it.
Have you corrected your mistake?
No. I sent us the offers this morning. But you know, here's another one I don't have. I don't have a Van Dijk rare.
Oh, because you had the super for Rare Pro.
But again, like having a Van Dijk
Allison and
well, I didn't have Allison either. Again, this is like one of these stupid collect. Like, okay, God, this is good. I'm gonna like out myself as a horrible player.
Hold on, no. We're just we'll let you
out
yourself.
Oh, you want to out it with me? All right, you're gonna. It's 4th one over.
Is it this one?
Yeah. So there's those beauties that you can't really use because Jota's always hurt.
And these are the super ones, the Jersey Mint special edition. Yeah.
I'm just staring at them closer.
Yeah, exactly. So you need Van Dijk.
Harvey Elliott.
I mean, you can get Thiago now pretty cheap.
Well, he retired.
Yeah.
I sent out a couple offers on away edition ones of him. But Darwin is probably a card I should have. Alexis is definitely a card I should have. I think Elliott I should have. I don't know if Gakpo I should have, especially right now. Like, sorry, yes, for sure. But
it was at home, like.
But I think it's important to note though too. Until like a week ago, I didn't have the Allison here.
Right.
I got the Luis Diaz at the end of the season. I won Trent Alexander-Arnold towards the end of the season.
That's fun.
So I think this is just an example, a little bit self-deprecating though. Once you do this, like once you make the decision and you pay the premiums on Jones and Jota and Gomez and stuff like that, you kind of need to finish the job. And here's another thing I was thinking about preparing. Then I want to hear where you wanted to take this too. I think in Sorare, trying to think of the right way to say this. We think because the time element feels so long that there's like just all this utility. And like, oh, I'll just wait a few weeks. Like, what have you been saying about the new season champ? People are going to wait for the international break. Well, that's like a couple weeks of missing a window. And like, let's say that you decided Crystal Palace is your team this year because, you are always a SAR fan and he finally came to his rightful home. Like this guy named GatorGuy and Lairdinho pointed out on Twitter that he was always destined to go there. But let's just say that you do Palace and their 5-0 win is week 2.
Right.
And you decided to wait. That might have been the only Crystal Palace week. Like, granted, you might have a 1-0, but is Arsenal going to win 6-0 that week? Is City going to do, like, you just don't know. So, like, I think we all oftentimes wait thinking the price is going to go down, insert whatever reason. But the moment could have already taken place. Like you say, you can't get the past scores. So that's the other part for me.
So mine is somewhat in that realm, but I have this weird tendency to make like the short term affect the long term decision. And so the example I'll give, and I really don't want to give the player out because I'm still trying to get his card and I'm that like paranoid about it. However, there's a player I'm trying to acquire and his first 2 games, so his season hasn't started yet. His first 2 games are really bad, like really bad matchups. And I'm letting that affect my timing on it, that I'm like, I'll wait on that card so that I don't have the card during those games, as if I need to play them and get relegated during those 2 games. But then it's like, I'm expecting everyone else to be so dumb that they see the first 2 games and they're like, this guy's terrible. And by the time I eventually get the card or try to get it, it's too late. Somebody's already gotten it, or the price has gone up because like everyone sees like, the schedule's actually good now.
Or he smashes those 2 games that you thought he was going to do bad in, and you're like, oh shit.
Right. Well,
people are going to realize the better matchups are coming.
Yeah. And it's not even like I would have again, they would be in training. I'd be like, I'd have really good training lines.
Right, but your whole point that he's going to tank the first 2 weeks and everybody's going to be off the scent and you're going to be this sharp dude coming in and going,
the sharp dude, yeah,
you didn't realize those matchups were coming.
That's exactly it. And I'm like, I don't want those cards. I do not want this card in my gallery for those 2 bad matchups, as if it explains it at all. Zion said expecting people to be dumb is the best strategy. Yeah. I will say that so that's the problem, is that we could be surrounded by dumb, but you only need like really just 1 or maybe 2 or 3 people to not be dumb and take the card that you want.
Yeah. Or just, a whale to be on the scent of these matchups coming up and they just swoop up all the ones that you were expecting. And now, like, let's be real too. Like rare, it's a little bit easier than like super rare, but there's been cards many times like the day before the deadline, I'll go like, okay, I want that card, and they're just not there.
Yep. The other part of it, and actually to go back to what you were saying, sometimes you have some whale and they're just like, oh, I need that card for my collection. Got it. And you're just like,
hold on. Here's where it's worse. That whale goes in, pays like 130%, 140%. And you're sitting here going, well, now the price is gone. And then we go, new plan. And then you never do the card. It's 3 months later. And then penalty happens again because Copa shows up. And you're like, oh, there he is. There's the card I should have owned 5 months ago. But that's what I'm saying. Like I can't think of another example offhand. Like Alexis is the one that came in my head. But that's happened so many times that I go, I should have bought that card 8 weeks ago, and now the price is inflated. He fits perfectly into a lineup for like the next couple of weeks, and I'm like, I remember when he was $100. I don't want to pay $300.
So the number of people that I have gone on expletive tirades about because they pay more than what I would have paid for a card because for the two reasons of one, I didn't get the card. And now two, I'm going to have to pay more because one moron overpaid for it. And now everyone who's selling is like, that's the price now. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody's going to pay that price. And they're like, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And then by the time they drop their price, I've moved on to strategy number 6.
Has anybody ever convinced a seller that a previous sale was an outlier? I don't think that's ever happened. In the history of Sorare, I don't think anybody has actually agreed that there was an outlier, other than like a 25-cent card going for $25. Or
Right.
Like think about it. Like you're trying to look at a card that's like the 5 straight sales for $150, and then somebody pays $250. Everybody, $250. Maybe for you, I like your content. Maybe $235.
Yeah, I will say that the move, like my move into like the Danish Superliga, which includes a lot of cards that are not minted anymore, makes me have to go into like cards that just aren't that liquid.
Yeah.
And so when they're like, yeah, last sale is $100, and I'm like, it was 8 months ago, and they're like, it's the last sale, and you're just like, it's not, you're not going to sell it for that. And they were like, that's the price. And you're somebody pays it. Like at some point, someone pays it. And I'm just like,
but like that's, I kind of explained that away too, is that like, exactly.
KB's right about this. Unless it's way under last sale, and then it means nothing.
But I do think, obviously everybody here is watching a Sorare data stream. Majority of people understand what Sorare data is that are here, have used it, whether it's free or, premium capacity. I think we underestimate that, as much as we think Sorare data is completely mainstream in the Sorare community, that there's plenty of users that have never heard of it and that don't use it. And like, they just go, there's the card, I want it, click.
Well, I think it's as simple as like, oh, that's what it costs.
Right.
Click. And you're just like, okay, you do you. But like, it reminds me of something that Quinny said like a long time ago, where he was like, it's amazing that like 2 people can decide what every other card of that player is valued at. Because even if you're somebody like works on multiples, it's like, oh, this card, 2 people decided that this card that sold for $50 is now $100. And now everybody who's like, oh, super rares are 3x. So now the super rares 300, and just like spirals like that. And it's impossible to have a conversation with someone and be like, what is the fair value of this card? Because eventually, like, what percentage of card buys do you think both sides feel like they got a deal?
They both got a deal. Like they're both happy.
Like they got like, wow, I can't believe I sold it for that much. And the other side says, I can't believe I only paid that little.
Not 0, but like 10 to 20%. And I'm just saying that because I'm just saying that because as somebody that's done a lot of selling lately, I think there's when you decide to sell or you decide to change ideas, that you just go the relief of getting rid of the card and adding to the bank, like you're just happy with. Like I'm doing more. I'm like, you've done this because I sent it to you. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody wanted that card. Much less like bought it. So to me, like the price on some of those cards that I've sold it didn't matter because I got rid of it. So I think it's a little bit higher, but I know where you're going with the point. I think it's like very low that both people are like fist pumping and like DMs are going out on both sides.
Yeah. I think I didn't consider exactly what you're doing. That I feel like for a lot of the cards that you've sold, you're like, this card is worth zero.
Yeah,
to me.
Doing any
and
good
so
for
anything
me
I get, and not to say you're selling them literally for nothing, but like
there's somebody that does these streams that would call it nothing, but I consider it something that I consider it an addition to the greater bank that I can go do something more useful with these cards, or this money than this guy sitting at the I told you the hardest part about doing a lot of these sales, like there's probably a toggle for it. I don't actually want to turn it off, but it's like seeing what I paid versus then what it's being sold, especially the cards that have been in your gallery for a really long time. Like you've said this a few times on the stream, and your voice enters my head every time I'm looking at it, which is you can't worry about what you paid. Like you did it for a different reason. There was a reason you bought the card at that point, that you thought paying this would yield you that more, make you competitive, whatever reason. But man, when you sit there and look at like a, we'll just use Dusty because we use him consistently on here. When you look at, you paid $4,000 for Dusty and he's like a $75 card, you're like, oh, well, that was a tough one. Maybe I'll save that for a tax write-off at some point.
I'm pretty sure we could get 5 super rares for the price we paid for our 1 rare.
Oh, Doosan? No, I'm pretty sure you could get all the super rares for 1.
Oh my god! What do you think the floor price is in dollars for a
Dusty?
Classic Dusty super rare.
Classic Dusty super rare, $200.
Oh, okay. 463.
Okay,
is the
too high? Way too high.
That's the
forward
the floor.
Too? Is it a forward?
One sold yesterday for 450.
Yeah, it's too much. Oh, they're done.
1 of 100, no less. Ooh, that's a fun card.
Hold on, not 1 of 100, 1 of 10. You mean?
Sorry, 1 of 10.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
I mean, at least it's a forward, but yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. So that's 450 for a classic super.
Did his Saudi links go away?
I spent 2,890 for my rare. I have no idea.
I mean, they were from that bullshit account anyways.
Yeah.
The guy that just sends anything for a click. So I don't know if that was even. I don't know if it's fair to call those a link.
Yeah. I don't
know. That's a good point.
Said, I think Jersey Mints can have that feeling both ways. I find Jersey Mints to be like the supreme outlier on the platform, more so than 1 of 100s or 1 of 10s.
But you know what's funny though is once you go to super rare, that nobody cares, even though it matters.
Peter said, if you want to feel better, just check the price of cards you sold.
No, but see, that's the correct spin, Peter. Like that's exactly like the correct spin. And like, Andy, I know has said this a lot too, is like you have to look at like the reward you won with those. That maybe that reward is a $20 card, but you sold it for 200, or like, it's all relative. It really is.
That reminded me of something I was going to bring up earlier, but the whole and we've talked about this, that I think it was with Surf that we initially started talking about, like how you yield from a card is different now.
Right.
That what you win is really how you determine if the price you paid for the card makes sense. And that resale value, while they all have some, the expectation is not, I'm going to buy this card, win a bunch of stuff, and then sell it for more. Like generally that doesn't happen anymore.
Yep. That's a mindset change we all need to do.
Yes. The funny thing with that line of thinking is, even if you believe it, and I don't think anybody actually believes it, but even if you believe it, the fear of holding a card literally forever will just always eat at you. Like if you have a card that you paid a ton for and you won more, and it's like realized profit, you sold all those rewards, whatever. Right. If you're so far in the green on this card, and the guy retires, and you're just like, oh,
yep,
worthless card now.
I mean, that's a Dusty realization, by the way. Like that could happen. But I think too that nobody does this, and I try to make myself do it, and I just don't. succeed in tricking my mind. But like, you actually, for that same card, like let's say that you didn't quite yield what you paid for. So you still technically the card's a loss.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say that you got a second place in a competition or a third place in a competition because the guy dropped 100. Well, what if that fifth guy in the lineup, you put the right player in and you won? Like, so there's all this potential value that you could have earned because the guy did what you bought him for.
Right.
Like, so you could have actually yielded 20x his price, but you would have never been in that situation to begin with. Like I think of like my Tadic. Like I bought a Remco Pasveer. Speaking of the devil reincarnated, but I played him over Anthony Morris, the USG goalkeeper, and I got 5th in All-Star Rare Pro instead of 1st. But like, was that Tadic's fault that I screwed up? No, Tadic dropped whatever Tadic dropped at Ajax, high scores, right?
I think that every game he was at Ajax. So.
Dude, there's a reason we paid what we paid, because it was like he was the forward to have that. You were like, he's going to get me 60 if he doesn't get decisive. So I just say that, like, I think that this game can get really deep and complex, that where we can really, what's the right word? Like, hold on to, like, I can't sell this card for peanuts because I paid a lot for it type of thing. Whereas those peanuts, maybe if you use those peanuts right, you could actually earn more than holding on that card, if that makes any sense. Like, maybe I could take my $10 and use it better than this guy just sitting by a card that matters more and yield onwards.
Yeah, I think part of it is that we, meaning Sorare Data, and I don't think it's really something that Sorare themselves should spend time on. But one of the things that I think we could improve on is really showing card yield better. The difficulty is the number of ways that you can like turn a card into something else, into something else, into something else. And it's just like, it's an endless, like when I did that like chart where I like got all my mid-lane cards, and it's like, so like looking at, like, I'm looking at my Tadic now, and it's just like, okay, well, if I won a card that I then, well, here, I might as well literally just pull it up. So these are like the rewards that I won with my Tadic card. And then it's like, oh, this Alexander Grant. And it's like, okay, what did I win with the Alexander Grant? Does that go back? Like, I won Cap 240. That Alexander Grant card got me Bruno Fernandes. Did Tadic get me Bruno Fernandes? Right. And so like, I couldn't have won that without Alexander Grant, and I don't have Alexander Grant without Tadic. But like, how do you account for that when you're looking at yield? And I think that's like, it's very difficult. And I think that's why so many people then just go back to what's my card worth now, because it's easy to say, this is what I paid and this is what it's worth now. So, and that kind of comes really full circle back to the topic too. If you would have waited, a couple weeks on Tadic's price to go down, would you have missed the Alexander Grant win? And then does the Alexander Grant win mean that you never win 240 and never won Bruno? Like, right. Like, it does, it means that, and it also doesn't all at the same time. But like, you can like make the logic do whatever you want it to do for yourself. Right. And I would say more often than not, like, my experience personally is that every time I wait on something for whatever reason, I don't remember ever waiting on a card and being like, oh boy, I'm so glad I waited. I'm sure there's some dude that's torn up his knee like the day afterwards, and I'm like, oh. The anti-Orsic? The anti-Orsic, yeah. But I'm sure there's one or two that I can think of, but it doesn't leave an impact. But like, the amount of cards that like I could have used to yield more and start that Andy Black says, start that snowball. Yeah. Yeah. Skosmo is saying that I could have just bought Grant regardless of Tadic. That's just pure RNG.
But
That's sort of
he
the
wouldn't
point.
have bought. But that's the problem. Is you might Alexander Grant might not even been on your radar.
Surely he was not.
I mean, you got a Korean defender on. I mean, why would you not go after that Laird?
Fun fact: Jersey mint.
Oh, you won the Jersey mint too?
Sure did.
So fun. That doesn't happen anymore, right?
Another fun fact: never did a Pohang collection. Didn't even think about it. Only one.
That might be one of your bright spots in your soccer career that you didn't do that.
Oh. Still waiting on that one. Probably going to wait forever. There was a comment.
There's been some good comments. Sorry that we haven't been too attentive on chat.
Yeah, he said either you analyze your ROI on a blended basis or based strictly on individual cards. It's not that. I think it's impossible to do that, though. To say that subsequent rewards from a reward shouldn't be part of the first one. Like I would not have that card without it. But again, then it gets just this. The spider web just goes incredibly deep because it's like, okay, I look at Alexander Grant that helped me win Bruno. Now all the rewards that I won with Bruno, which actually, to be honest, I don't think I won anything with Bruno. God, that's embarrassing. Never mind. I won some good stuff, including Kaylor Navas, who I've been getting a bunch of things.
Yeah, starting again after like 6 years of not wanting to start.
This is actually a very good card. Noel Kirchu. Let's go. Nico Williams.
Is this Grant still?
Again? No, it's Bruno.
Oh, okay.
Because of Grant. Because of Tadic.
I just saw who owned. Did you trade that directly to Shawnee? Or did he buy it from somebody else?
Which one?
The Bruno.
Does he have it now?
Shawnee owns whatever one you were designing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Shawnee has it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's me, and then I sold it to
look, you could have just sold it to your buddy.
I could have. I bet we both had just terrible. Well, I did. This was my Armani super rare deal.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. And then let's see what Shiny did. Chevalier, Sane, and Lenny Yoro, and 0.05 for Summer and Bruno. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Sure. I like the players on Shawnee's side that he got more than the way out.
KB said, pretty sure Laird's Bruno has the worst turnover in all of Go Rare Bruno cards. Harsh.
But I saw Skazi doing a couple of comments on the directness of it. And all I will say this Cosmo, is we understand, but we're also just talking about the spider web that can occur and that you could justify this. And just buy the card when you need it. That's the point.
Yeah. So Scosmo said me getting Grant was pure luck. It's not a direct consequence of Tadic. If you pulled a different random player, you wouldn't have won Bruno, which we don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't know that.
We're just saying the spider web that occurred also occurred because Tadic was in your gallery.
But like every card reward is just an RNG consequence.
Right. And it's better to, in every single card, it's better to win earlier than later.
Yeah. Magnus said compound interest, winning rewards is the strongest force in the universe. My MLB gallery agrees.
But hey, look, just even in finance, compound interest, right?
Yeah, I mean, I struggle accepting that it obviously the Tadic, now I'm going to find out the Tadic was in that lineup with Grant anyway, and so it didn't matter.
I don't believe so, because that was your MLS Gold away, Cecina away.
You're right.
Reynoso away, Grant away. And oh my God, the fact that I can recall this lineup. Hold on, don't even put it on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
It was Joe. Well, no, I named it, and it was Joe Bednick. Yeah, I knew that because he was your zero keeper. The fact that I remember that lineup is, I think I have to sell my gallery right now.
Hoodwink said, just for fun, I might go into the detail of the Taniguchi I won as a reward. 1,500 pound cash reward and 8 card rewards. What did I win from those 8, and what did I get from selling them? It is interesting. That might be interesting.
Dude, I haven't done it. You know, I've talked on this stream, like with you alone, about Tadic making fun of him, nicknaming him Dusty. I've won 42 rewards with that card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to talk about a spiderweb? Like,
Investor said, if I win a tier 0 card that makes my day better, perform better at work, and get promoted, should I count that?
Dude, Dusty's out here saving lives. But like I kind of said with like the whole like sweat element too, like we are playing a game. And while a lot of us care very much about the yield, obviously, like I don't think any of us are here if you're just doing fake coins and stuff like that. But there is something about a sweat for a couple of days. You got a little pep in your step. You're like, all right. Well, Sho Sasaki plays on Monday. Or he doesn't.
Or he's got COVID. The biggest reason why ROI matters is because that's how you know if you're good at the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's the only way that we know. The problem is that, like, that's why it's important. I mean, obviously doing it on a per card basis, I guess that's the reason why it doesn't matter, because it's like one card into another, when really it's just like, how much did you put in and what is it? How much do you have now? Or we just have a bunch of JPEGs. I can even save marriages.
That was Sho, right? That was the video with Sho, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorare Down Under. For anyone who doesn't watch, go watch them.
You should.
Or
like,
listen,
subscribe, all that good stuff.
Ben said, my teams do well. I'm in a better mood, better chance at marriage. Do I include my married tax allowance in my Steve Clark ROI? And yes, Sho Sasaki's. We know how much Sho Sasaki is worth these days.
Hey, for the record, I think I started the show as Dusty when I was like, well,
I think so too.
Just like really early. But I also just started it to troll Tuggy. I did not mean to actually make it true. Like, it's painful for me too.
I'll come back with a vengeance. Or not. Who knows?
So back on the original topic, did you have any other slant? You said that you had like multiple slants. I feel like we've only kind of talked about.
Yeah. So the one that, like, because I'm literally dealing with it now, is this whole like waiting for a card. So the other reason, and this is really bad, but the other reason why this whole, like, the player who starts up this season with 2 bad games, the reason I don't buy the card now is like the number of times where I have bought a card in that instance and then I get an injury or like something happens and I'm like, oh, I need another card. And like my balance just isn't there anymore. And I just look at this card I bought thinking to myself, I'm not using this for another 3 weeks. Why did I buy it now? It's kind of like we should all have a little bit of our budget, and I hate calling it like emergency money, but it's basically like the equivalent of you need to have some money just in case somebody gets hurt and you want to like fill that gap, and using that to buy a card I'm not going to use for a month just feels awful.
You need that fluff amount, or, you need to know that the fluff amount exists outside the site that I'm going to put on if you're doing this seriously. I would say what you just said there too, like you actually went a little bit different. I think sometimes, especially if you know a card you're not going to use right away, a lot of us default to, well, I'm not going to buy it. What happens if that guy tears his knee when I'm not even using him, or something happens to him? Goalkeepers all the time. I don't want to buy
never even
goalkeepers.
Think of it that way too, but now you've added another point of stress to the situation.
So I do this with goalkeepers a lot, especially the not great ones that attract me. I'm very attracted to not very good goalkeepers. I want to fix that in my next Sorare life. But
says the guy who just sold Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, that was a great idea. No, that was a fantastic idea.
No, I know. I'm saying you're starting to make the.
Dude, I sold 10 Melia, sold William Yarborough. This has been a cleanse. I'm getting rid of a lot of excess waste, but I always get worried about like if the guy gets benched. Like, like Joe Willis and the Panico thing for a while. Like that's like a good example. Like Joe Willis, half decent MLS goalkeeper. And for like a year and a half, Panico has been like, dude, just takes one, or like all it takes is like the one moment that you buy the card going, okay, I see that matchup here in 2 weeks, and there's like a run of 6 in a row that I want him, and then he's not there for it. And you're like, what did I just do? Why did I not just wait?
So the player I'm waiting on is a goalie.
Oh, no, just added all sorts of elements for you.
Well, it's that whole element of 2 bad games to start the season. What happens if they bench him?
Well, can I give you the horror story that occurs? And funny if it was Joe Willis. You get multiple errors led to goal. Like, I don't know if you remember. Can you actually pull up Joe Willis just so like I can put this into perspective for people, like how insane this was? He went on a run. It was really 4. Go to SO5 scores. You just need to look for the errors led to goal emoji, because there's about 4 in a 5-game span. This is last year.
Oh wait, this is only. Hold on. Yeah, there we go.
It's probably right there.
271. That was a long time ago. 2 years ago.
I mean, it feels like it was yesterday.
Oh wait, did I skip it?
Sorry, this isn't. There it is. There it is. So okay, there it goes.
Look at that. He got an assist.
It was 3 straight. And you know what happened on this little benching right there? Gary Smith came out and was like, Joe Willis has been a great servant to the team for all these years. He needs a break. And you're
it's about the worst thing you could hear for a goalie.
Like,
hold on. So this is May 2020. May 2022.
Are you gonna look at when I traded him? It was the next day.
I was just gonna see like how much he cost back then.
Oh, it was a lot of money. I had a special edition too.
So is this May 2022? No, that's 2021. Here we go. Oh, I bought one.
You bought one on the way down. $1,100. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, $1,100 from Glenn. Glenn, please give me my money back. I actually don't still have this card. I got rid of it. Probably for about $80.
But like that was a reality during that time. Was a goalkeeper getting benched that was thousands of dollars. It's hard to recuperate. And like when they get benched, it goes from $1,100 at that time. What, $100? $379. But he came back. He came back pretty quick. So
he did. Oh, he only missed 1 game.
He missed 1 game,
and then came back, had a great game, and then another.
I'm trying to remember. I think I was long gone. I think I just was like, good riddance. Thank God I don't have to deal with that. Is so
about Joe Bendick.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what it is about Joe Bendick's card. I've now seen him in real life and understand how he's. Does he not look like the most unathletic person ever on a Sorare card in that photo, on your card specifically?
I think what's good about Joe Bendick.
I mean, that shot doesn't help him either.
Yeah, they did a lot of like low angle shots that didn't help.
But this one right here, the third one over.
This one?
Like, that's not an athlete.
This is probably the most flattering one.
You think so? Yeah.
I will say that I think there's like no doubt what position he plays. I don't want to be mean about it, but I'm going to.
100%.
Yeah. I still own a Joe Bendick. Like, still have that card. There it is. That's the only time I ever want to reward with that card.
Did you know he was on Vancouver?
No, I didn't. Did he take Hazel's spot?
Hazel had a spot?
Keith, what do you think about a card here that I bought for $29 that has a 100% reward and first place finish rate?
The fact that he's on your Hall of Fame is a shame.
It's a good point.
Hold on, now let's go to your. What did I ask you earlier? You showed your Paxton Aronson yield.
Also 100% hit rate. What do you mean I don't?
Did he spike?
Oop. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's go.
Lairdinho, that's the winner. Are we sure that Joe is on an offensive line?
Yeah, I also have a.
He would pass for an offensive tackle for me. I've been like, yeah, 100% there.
Bendick, yeah.
Yeah. Just has that. I want to say thicker neck, but like just built like
a bigger guy.
Yeah, built like a lineman.
These are the best of us. It's all right.
But he doesn't look that way. When you actually watch him play, you're like, oh, that picture is not the same as me watching. But yeah.
He's a little more spry in real life.
A little more spry. Little bit.
Yeah, goalies are the worst.
But
so do you think it's better to wait on goalie?
I do. There's just too much that can happen.
Yeah.
Red card. And then the worst part, too, if he's already just like a middle to average goalkeeper, even if he's not like horrible like the ones I like, he's just okay. Mm-hmm. And he gets a red card, and the backup comes in, he's like back-to-back clean sheets. And you're just like, what am I going to do now? He's probably not going to start, right? Ride the hot hand. Goalie sucks. Did he? Look at that. With his Midland guys, too. Look at you.
Sorensen and Simpson aren't even going to play.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you didn't prioritize?
No.
But you prioritized Turkey. You picked the wrong Wonder Kid.
No. Turkey will get there.
Has Turkey done anything? I have not paid any attention.
Captain Turkey, too. 52 points, 17 and a half. Unfortunately, knowing Turkey, he's done for the day.
I was going to say, how confident are you that he's not done?
Not confident. I meant to change that.
A 7.7 on. No.
I totally thought I changed that.
You knew he was out too. Did you know he was? You know he was likely going to be benched.
I bet. Oh man, I don't want to do this, but I'm looking. Pretty sure I changed it in the lineup builder and not on Sorare. Fuck's sake. Anyway, Boston Sean said first time I played Guzan, he got a red card.
I mean, he's still cooking, so it's worked out.
So far.
It helps when the backup.
It
helps when the backup comes in, and you're like, oh my god, he's 10 times worse than Guzan.
There was something that made me feel better about Guzan, that he didn't start the Leagues Cup, that they knew that like they have Cohen for that, and so many people, so many goalies were rotated. They were like, it's almost like MLS was like, hey, if you have a locked in starting goalie, we're gonna just please rest them. And now I'm like, I'm waiting for the Guzan contract extension news coming.
It could definitely happen. I mean, Cohen, it was so funny because he was like actually like a well-regarded goalkeeper coming over, and he's dreadful.
Dreadful.
Like, I don't watch. I just see his scores, and I know he's dreadful. It's like error led to goal. This I do think, though, interestingly, on the Leagues Cup thing, and I'm sure Sean doesn't watch this, but he would have me catch shit for this. I feel like a lot of the goalkeepers that did rotate, like not all of them are known, but like a lot of them make sense. You're like Stephen Cleveland and Austin. Like we all love Stuver, but Cleveland started a lot of games like over the last couple of years, and he's back up, and it's like
he was never a starter though.
No, but he started a lot of games and then was considered like a good back. But he's considered like a good backup.
Yeah.
Like, Philly for Andre Blake has never had good backups. Like it was Joe Bednick. Who's the other guy?
They had Matt Freese.
Yeah, then they traded him. He's great. He's great. But speaking of that, Barraza starting the Leagues Cup makes sense. Like that was a guy that could start. But when we see like the Prem teams do this in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, we don't even think anything of it.
Yeah.
Like that, when Matt Turner was at Arsenal, right? He got all the Carabao Cup games and things like that. So like we're all like treating this like the Leagues Cup. Like, what are these doing? They're throwing away. It's like, dude, they're rotating the goalkeeper. Like this happens all around the world in domestic cup type competitions. Just because they pause the season, I think is what makes us think like, oh, that they should just keep playing the starter. But I don't know if you saw Stuver. Cleveland staved.
Fired up,
dude. He wasn't like, oh, I wanted to sub. He was like genuinely like super excited for the guy.
The irony is that I have a Steph Cleveland card because he was Stephen Fry's backup, and then Fry was also benched, and I was like, "Oh, I'll play Stuver, no problem."
I did some Stephen Cleveland flipping back in the day. That was some good stuff.
It's like a classic night and season move.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, those were good times.
Those were the days.
Those were fun days. Anything else on the topic to talk about? You wanted me to remind you something at the beginning of the stream that I have no idea if you have any recollection on what you're supposed to.
Let me see if I wrote it down.
There's a 0%. Did you even write down the show idea?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Actual pen and paper on that one. It's the first time I've used a pen in 3 years. No, I got nothing else. I'm gonna go open my rewards though.
Happy rewards to everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you hold on. Whoa. Stopping everything. Stopping Laird. Did you win? Did you win, Contender?
Division 2.
I think the people deserve to see it.
What
do you hold on? I'm gonna pause. Laird's gonna go. Chat. Laird 1D2 Contender. First off, congratulations. I don't care if you're not super excited by the prize pool. A win is a win. So congrats to you. But
Thank you.
Does the chat want to see Laird do it?
No.
I got one. Show us. Got one.
Nobody
I'm going to get shit for this in a DM in a couple of minutes. I don't give a shit.
From
there we go. Come on. Let's go. We're all. Do we have anything that we're rooting for specifically, or did you not like any of them?
So they updated the prize pool from yesterday.
Okay.
Maybe for good. We'll find out.
Okay.
But there are, I would say, like 90% of the rewards in the pool. I would be furious to win.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the one that I'm going to win. I'll say this to everybody here. Is Shusaku Nishikawa, who I cannot believe is a tier 1 reward. And they're going to give them to me because I have a super rare.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And this is probably why you didn't want to open it because of this, but sorry. But I wanted to celebrate you winning because you won. Congrats.
So Nanzo, it's so fun. So Nanzo goes top of D2 isn't a win, it's a promotion. I'm more excited about the promotion than I am at this card. And all I'm thinking about is what Nep said last week, that like this is disappointment about to happen.
And you're gonna do it for all to see because of peer pressure. Argentina go Biarmani? No. I don't know what that is.
Keith, this is the only card in the pool I wanted.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Yes! That's karma for actually opening it on stream.
The only one right there.
That's awesome.
For those of you who don't know, this is Necaxa's starting goalie. I have another Necaxa new season card because the guy transferred from River Plate. And that's right. Surfila loves him. I tried. So fun fact, I thought his super rare was worth $400 and Pavel thinks it's worth $1,400.
That sounds about like the Powell markup.
That's right. In season until May 2025.
Oh, well, this is awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks. Let's go.
I was going to say, don't open the rest. We don't need to do
I'm not going to.
But
yeah.
I just wanted to give you credit for the win. And that makes me even that much happier, though, that you got a good card.
I think he was the top of the pool.
That's so
like
cool.
First.
That's so cool.
But again, yesterday, I think there were 8 players in the pool, all from Korea and Japan. Yeah, and I was like, guys, other teams are playing. Japan's not even playing. And I was just like, wait, what's going on here? So yeah. So thanks everyone for watching.
That's an awesome end. Fantastic.
Yeah. Fun card. Let's go. Cool jersey too. I don't think I even knew that. Yeah, there he is. Way to go. Anyway, Thanks everyone for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know with who or when or what the topic is. I'm going to be totally honest with you on that one. Thursday is Harry for the game week preview, and then Sorare Andrews, and then Friday solo show. And I've written it down. So there it is. Thanks everyone. Good luck with your rewards.